Good morning, students. Students, this session is for class 12th physics. Students, yesterday we have completed Ampere's circuital law. Okay, and I hope you revised that topic. If not, please revise Ampere's circuital law first, because this one is application of Ampere's circuital law. Okay, so we are going to use Ampere's circuital law to solve this example. So try to revise that topic, because if you don't have idea about Ampere's circuital law, so it will become very difficult for you to understand this example of NCERT. Okay, so please try to understand, and if possible, see first the previous video, and then I am sure you will be able to understand this question easily. Okay, so let's start the example. This one is the example of NCERT. Okay, you can see example 4.8. So let me read the question first. Figure 4.15 shows a long straight wire of circular cross section radius A. So the cross section radius is small a, it is given, carrying steady current I. So there is current I flowing through this wire. The current I is uniformly distributed across the cross section. So this current I is uniformly distributed in cross section of the wire. Then calculate the magnetic field in the region R is less than A and R is greater than A. So you have to find out the value of the magnetic field when R is less than A. It means inside the conductor. Okay, then R is greater than A, it means outside the conductor. So you can see if the radius is A and R is greater than A, it means we want to find out the magnetic field at a point outside this conductor. And if A is less than R, it means our desire to find out the magnetic field inside this conductor. Okay, so now let us revise the given quantities in this question. So radius of the conductor is given, that is A. This is actually the radius of cross section of this conductor, and current I. So this current is steady current. So we are given two quantities, that is radius of the conductor and current through the wire, and these are the conditions where we have to find out the magnetic field due to this current carrying wire. Okay, so you can see the figure 4.15. This one is the conductor. Suppose this one is cylindrical conductor and this one is the cross section. You can see the circle. Okay, the radius of this circle is small a. So suppose this is the point P outside this conductor. So we want to find out magnetic field at this point P. This one is the second case. In first case, let's see, suppose this one is the some point, you can see this one is suppose Q. So you can see the radius in this the distance in this case taken as R1. So here R1 is less than A. You can see the circle represented by the dotted line is less than this circle, that is the cross section of the wire. So the the circle represented by dotted line is quite small as compared to the circular cross section of the wire. So it means this point Q lies inside this conductor. Okay, so I hope you understand about this picture or this figure 4.15. So I am going to erase these things because this makes some confusion. So in first case we will try to solve the problem for R1. Okay, so let's solve for this R1. So let's see the solution. So I hope it is visible for you all, and you can see on the screen the solution is given here. First case, consider the case when r is greater than a. It means in this solution r is greater than a is taken as the first case, so we are going to solve for the same. It means suppose we are going to solve the magnetic field for point P, okay, when r is greater than a. This r is the arbitrary distance from this conductor and it is taken as greater than a, so it is taken as the first case. So let's solve for this one because it will help you to understand the second case, okay, so that it is taken as the first case. So suppose r is greater than a, then we are going to find out the Amperian loop. So the Amperian loop labeled 2 is a circle concentric with the cross section for this loop. So Amperian loop in this question will be concentric with the cross section of the wire, okay. So let's see for this loop, the total circumference, or you can say the length of this dotted line will be 2 pi r, okay, because you know that the circumference is a length and if radius is known, so this length will be equal to 2 pi r, okay. So if you integrate, if you take any small element dl on this Amperian loop and integrate this over this Amperian loop, you will get total length L, and that will be equal to 2 pi into radius, okay, 2 pi r. So I hope you understand this concept, okay. Now I is current enclosed by the loop. This is the current, this I is current enclosed by the loop, okay, and this is taken as I. So you can write the result is familiar expression for the long straight wire, that is B into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught I. Now this one is the Ampere's circuital law, it is applied here. Let me give you example. So the magnetic field at any point is given by the tangential direction and the dl is also in the same direction. So if you want to write the Ampere's circuital law for this, you can write B dot d L is equal to mu naught times current enclosed by the loop. So this is the Ampere circuital law. But since this B and this DL are always in same direction, okay, at different points, so the cos theta, it means angle between these two is 0, so cos 0 will be 1. So you can write this part as closed integration, this is actually the closed integration, and you can write BDL and cos 0 will be 1, so this BDL is equal to mu naught I this BDL is equal to mu naught I. Now B is taken as constant, so you can write this B, then close integral dl is equal to mu naught I, okay. Now the integral of this part, this will give you 2 pi r, okay. So this part, that is integration of dl, will give you 2 pi r. So this part, that is integration of dl, will give you this integration dl will give you the total length, and this will be equal to, and this will be equal to 2 pi into r. So now you can write this portion as b into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught times I. Now this is the equation, this is given here, you can see. So this b into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught I. It is by these steps. Okay, so after applying Ampere's circuital law from this equation and solving these steps, you will get this equation, that is b into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught times I. Now this I is the current enclosed by this loop, because you know that this wire is inside this loop, because this circle is larger than the cross section of the wire. So the total current flowing through this wire enclosed by the dotted circle. Okay, so total current inside this one is I. So you can now write b is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Okay, so you can see here b is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Okay, this is 4.19a. This is equation 4.19a. And from this equation you can write, since mu naught upon 2 pi is a constant and I is also constant in this question, so this shows that b, the magnetic field, is inversely proportional to 1 upon r. It means the magnetic field decreases with the distance from the wire. Okay, for r greater than a. Okay, so this is the case. If it means this is true for outside the wire. Okay, now let's see what happened inside the wire. Okay, so I hope you understand the formula for magnetic field at any point due to current carrying wire, but the point must be outside the wire. So if point is outside the wire, the formula is given by equation 4.19a, you can see here, and that is mu naught upon 2 pi I upon r. Sometimes it may be 2 into 10 to the power minus 7, because the value of mu naught upon 2 pi is 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 I upon r, it can be. So you can write according to, in terms of mu naught or in terms of the constant 10 to the power minus 7 into 2. Okay, so this is your choice. Now the second case, let me tell you for the second case. In this case you can see the radius of the Amperian loop is less than the cross section of this wire. So the whole wire contains current I. The complete in this whole wire has steady current I. It means there is something less current flowing through this circle, that is of radius r1. Okay, so you can understand by the diagram more easily. You can draw a diagram like this. Okay, see current is flowing through this part. You can see here these current are not inside this loop of radius r1. Now some current also flowing through this r1. So this current, that is these two, is quite less than the whole current, that is I. It means the current flowing through this dotted line, sorry, the circle represented by dotted line must be less than this current I. So in this case, this integral b dot dl becomes mu naught I dash, because it is not the total current, but it is quite less than the total current flowing through this conductor. Okay, and also the radius r will be less than the less than A, so it may be considered as R1. Okay, so let's see the solution. So consider the case R is less than A. The Amperian loop is circle labeled by A1. For this loop, taking the radius of the circle to be R, you can write here R1. Okay. Now you can see, now the current enclosed is not I am already discussed about this, but is less than this value. Since the current distribution is uniform, then current enclosed in this circle is given by I into R square upon A square. Now we are going to understand how this term is here. So for this, let us check the diagram given in figure 4.15. So for this purpose, I am going to erase these terms, these things here, to understand the amount of current flowing through the circle shown by dotted lines. Okay. So let us understand. So you know that since the current flowing in this part is not coming from the circle represented by dotted line. Now some current flowing through this also. So this current is quite less than the total current. For this purpose, our purpose is to find out current flowing through the circle represented by dotted line. So for this purpose, we can define the current per unit area, that is known as J. J is equal to I upon A. Okay, total current, suppose this is capital I, upon area. Area means area of this cross sectional area of this conductor, and that is pi r square. Okay. Now you can see that this one is the current per unit area flowing through this wire. Okay, so what will be the amount of current flowing through the circle which is represented by dotted line? So that will be I1 is equal to J, that is current per unit area, into area of the circle that is represented by dotted line, that can be written as pi r1 square. Okay, pi r1 square. Now you can replace the value of J by I upon pi r square. So it will be I1 is equal to I total current upon pi r square into pi r1 square. Okay, now you can cancel these pi, so you will get I1, this one is actually I1, this is current, sorry, I1 is equal to I r1 square upon r square. So this is the amount of current flowing through the circle represented by dotted line. Okay, that is I1. So I hope you understand this I1. Now this one is R1. The above circle R is, this is the radius R1 of the circle represented by dotted line. So the maximum value of R1 may be equal to the radius of this conductor, that is R. Okay, so if R1 is equal to R, you will get the maximum current, that is I1 becomes I. But if R1 is less than R, so with decreasing R1 you will get decreasing the value of I1. Okay, so the same thing is represented there. I hope you understand this I1 amount of current flowing through the circle represented by dotted line, because this is the current enclosed by this Amperian loop that is represented by the dotted line. So we will use in the Ampere's law I1 at place of I, okay, and R1 at place of R. So you will get B into 2 pi R1 is equal to mu naught I1. Okay, after putting value of I1 in this equation, you will get the value of magnetic field at that point inside the conductor. So let's see. So now you can see here this I r square upon a square. So since the radius of the conductor is given as a, so you can replace r by a and r1 by r. Okay, so in this equation, in our equation we written that I1 is equal to pi r1 square upon r square. Okay, so in that case we took r as the radius of the cylindrical, matlab radius of the cross section of the conductor, r1 as the radius of the Amperian loop, and pi is a constant. Sorry, this one is I actually. Total current flowing through the circuit or conductor, you can say. Here the current flowing through the Amperian loop is taken as IE. Okay, and this IE is equal to I, that is total current flowing through the conductor, into r square. This r is the radius of the Amperian loop, and this is a square, that is the radius of the cross sectional area of conductor. Okay, so you can write this equation like this. Okay, now we can use Ampere's circuital law, that is close integral B dot dl is equal to mu naught times IE now. Okay, so now we will use the value of IE, that is this one, IR square upon a square, and this part the same thing will be there. So this will be B dl, you can write B dl is equal to mu naught. You can put the value of IE here from this equation. So I am going to write IE in this step also. Now this B is constant, so it is taken outside the integral, and this is the closed integral dl over the line. This one is over a closed loop. Okay, so this becomes mu naught IE. Now a closed loop always give total length 2 pi r if radius is r, 2 pi r1 if radius is r1, 2 pi a if radius is a, and this integral of dl is equal to 2 pi into radius of the circular Amperian loop. Okay, so in this case the radius of the circular Amperian loop is taken as r, so you can write b into 2 pi r this one is 2 and this one is equal to mu naught IE. So this one is the same equation. This one is actually 2 pi r. So this is the same equation which is represented here. You can use the value of IE here. This one is the value of IE. Okay, so if you rearrange this equation, you will get B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi a square, okay, into r. Now you can see this r is variable because it can be very less. Suppose if the radius of this cross section is 2 centimeter, suppose if radius is 2 centimeter, so this 2 is value of a, this is constant, okay, this is constant for a given wire, but the r is the arbitrary value. It can be 1, it can be 0.5, it can be 0.1 mm, okay, it can be 10 in millimeters, sorry, it can be 1 centimeter also. So the value of r is variable and it is lies or it is less than the 2 centimeter. This is, I am giving one example only because wire can have different radius. But suppose if a wire has radius 2 centimeter, so the value of r is either less than 2 centimeter or it can be 2. If it is 2, it means if it is equal to a, so you will get the formula B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi a. But if it is not equal to a, it means it can be greater or less, so you can use the condition according to that. But if it is less, you are getting the formula B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi a square into r. Now you can see this magnetic field is directly proportional to r. You can see this. So inside the conductor, this B is directly proportional to the distance. It means with increasing the distance, the magnetic field is increasing. But outside the conductor, this B is proportional to 1 upon r, where r is distance of any point outside the conductor from the center of the this conductor. So outside this formula is B is proportional to 1 upon distance. In both the cases, distance are represented by r here. So but at the surface of the conductor, you can replace this r by a and you will get the result, okay. So inside the conductor, you get the magnetic field is increasing with the distance from the center, whereas outside the conductor it is decreasing with distance. So let's see the variation of this magnetic field with the distance. Suppose we are plotting distance along x-axis and the magnetic field along y-axis, okay. Now let this point represent the value of radius, that is equal to a. So the center is represented by here. So now the whole conductor is represented by this part. This, suppose this point is minus a, okay. You know that the total diameter, if radius of the wire is a, it means diameter will be 2a. So you can see the whole conductor looks like this, okay, look like this one is the conductor, okay, total conductor look like this. Now if you choose this is the center of the conductor, so from this point to point a, you can see the point a. Suppose this one is the conductor. Actually I am not going to hide a, okay. So this one is a. So you can see from 0 to a, you are inside the conductor, okay. Now from a, you are going outside the conductor. So if your distance on the x-axis is greater than the a, it means you are outside the conductor, and if the value of your distance is less than a, it means you are inside the conductor. So inside the conductor, the magnetic field is directly proportional to distance. You can see this is like y is equal to mx type. You can write y is equal to some constant into variable. So this is the straight line passing through the origin. So you can see this one is the straight line passing through origin till point a, that is the surface of the conductor. Now this is the point outside the conductor. Now the variation is inversely proportional to the distance. So you can see this is the graph. This is variation graph of the variation of magnetic field with distance inside and outside. So student, this one is very interesting and very important application, or you can say the question based on the Ampere's circuital law, and I hope you understand this question. So try to revise this question because this is very important. And students, I am always telling you one thing, uh, that is, try to revise the topic twice, at least 2-3 times, and try to solve at least 10 questions based on each topic, so that you will be able to understand the concept in more deep. Okay, and you will be able to apply that knowledge in different application level questions and higher order thinking skill questions. So I hope you understand. Thank you for watching. Okay, have a nice day ahead.